Let's go, New York fans. This is Pistol Pete 79, and I'm coming at you. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. I don't know yet. Let me double check. I think I'm here. I am live. I am ready to go. All right, finally. About 45 minutes later, I can finally get going on this chat today. How's everyone out there doing today? I hope you're all doing well. I do apologize. I did say I was going to start at 3:30. So this stream is going to be a lot shorter than anticipated. I do like to log on to the Entertainer Talking Sports during Nick games. He actually signs on between 4:30 and 5 o'clock to do his play-by-play. Last night, diehard Giants fan. Thank you so much. That was awesome. All right, somebody can see me. Thank you, Deborah. Yay! All right, so thank you guys for popping in yesterday. Matt Black was here. Tana was here. Diehard Giants fan was here. I do appreciate your support. I know a lot of you are busy, and it's an early stream, so I don't anticipate anybody else coming in. I am trying to practice my green screen, and it looks like it's working. You know, not too bad. I mean, I got to fix the lighting a little bit. We have the Knicks hat here with the lighting, but it's better than yesterday, because yesterday I was a tiny little box, right? With the wall behind me and a couple of pictures. So every day I would like to improve. This is, like I said, brand new. I'm so glad to see you guys here. This is great. All right, so let's get into the Knicks season. They are 19-18, coming out of the All-Star break. That being said, we have the Milwaukee Bucks. The Knicks are in Milwaukee. We are starting this particular stretch on a 4-game road trip. So we are not going home anytime soon. I would like to see the Knicks come off with a 2-2 after this trip. I'm a little on the fence on that just because of the injuries that we've sustained. So officially, everyone was asking about why has been Derrick Rose out. Did he catch COVID? Did he not catch COVID? They were very vague about it. Finally, news reports were released that he had an inconclusive test, which means that he has to do an automatic 14-day quarantine. We don't anticipate Derrick Rose to be part of this road trip. This is, only 7th or 8th day. So, at least gives them time to rest, because, you know, when Alfred Payton was out, Derrick Rose was thrown into their starting lineup. He is 32, and his role is a little different as of what it used to be. I know a lot of Knicks fans are like, yeah, start Rose, start Rose, start Rose. Rose doesn't want to start. There's too much wear and tear on him. His knees gave out so many times. You know, hold on one second, everybody. I have something coming in. I do apologize. Give me one moment. All right, so don't know how to chat. I am getting a text message from a family member in Long Island that wants to see me. What do you have to do in order to chat? Hey, Nick the Wick, what's going on, man? I'm sitting out here by myself. I was having a lot of technical difficulties. Thanks for popping in. You did say you were going to show me support. I do appreciate that. I do want to grow it a lot more. It's just me, you. There's Deborah Hernandez here. I have my niece trying to get in. So just so you know, my niece out there and my sister who's trying to log in as well, you need to sign into your YouTube account through your Gmail, your Google, whatever you use for your stream. You log in through your email. It allows you to sign in. Once you sign into your YouTube, it allows you to comment. So, yeah, right? Bro, Nick, this is all brand new. So now I got a green screen effect going on. The graphics aren't that great, but every day I'm trying to build it up. So yeah, when I was talking about Nick the Wick, if you weren't here earlier, I was discussing the All-Star break with the Knicks coming in, and you have the Bucks. We know we got Tana. He's about to go live, so we're about to jump on Tana's channel a little while. I want to do a little pregame hype video. I was discussing Derrick Rose, so I want to go back to that. So a lot of fans are talking about Derrick Rose and how they wanted him to start in Alfred Payton's absence. Well, now Alfred Payton is back. Derrick Rose is out due to COVID protocols. He had an inconclusive test, right? So that being said, I don't see him coming in on this 4-game trip. It's going to be tough. It really is going to be tough for the Knicks going forward. Do I see them winning today? Unfortunately, I don't. I would love it. I don't see them winning today. Mitchell Robinson is out. Derrick Rose is gone. Yes, are they rested? Yeah, but I don't. Unless the Bucks lay an egg again, like they did at the beginning of the season, I don't know. It's gonna be tough, man. Pre-game prediction score. I say the Knicks lose this one by 5, 110-105. It's gonna be a tight one. I say that because towards the end of the All-Star break, right through the last few games, the Knicks had way too many slow starts, and the Bucks have picked up their game in comparison to what they had towards the beginning of the season. I believe the Bucks learned how and what to do against the Knicks. Unless the Knicks come out firing, and they're firing all cylinders from the start, I don't see them winning. Now, if they come out of the All-Star break, like I said, firing all cylinders, which means they have good ball movement, they're hitting their shots, and the R.J. Barrett is drawing fouls. When Emmanuel quickly comes in, he draws his fouls. Julius Randle's drawing fouls. That's fine. But if you come out anything like you did against San Antonio and Detroit, we got a long night ahead of us. A very long night. So I want to see them do well, but let's be realistic. I see them dropping this one. I think they have Indiana coming up next right after that. They're going to smack Indiana around. I don't see Indiana as a threat at all. Not even the least bit. NFL news. The Chiefs, they got rid of both their tackles. And the funny part is about that is that mainstream media was releasing articles saying that, the Chiefs released the tackles for the Chiefs, Fisher and this other guy. I don't even know his name. Something to M. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm not going to try. Because Patrick Mahomes got his butt kicked in the Super Bowl. I don't know why they have to lie and make up stories. The fact of the matter is that a lot of teams have lost their salary cap room. Tina was talking about $30 to $40 million less of a cap that the teams have to handle. So a lot of these teams, I was saying last night, it's going to be a mess during the offseason. This whole free agency, it's going to be a mess. So, they have to cut a lot of different players. The tackles obviously are theirs. That means there's going to be a lot of starters that are on the market. And they're going to come at a discount, right? Let's take advantage of that. Oh, Nick DeWitt, man, you're the only one hanging out with me, so it's all good. Step away. Do what you got to do. I do appreciate you coming on, man. I had to step away a couple times. Nick DeWitt was funny. I started my stream earlier, right? And being that I'm brand new to all of this and this whole green screen effect, I started streaming and I started going through my, the whole regimen. And nobody can see me, right? So I'm thinking everybody can see me go and hear me talking, and nothing was happening. I got a message saying we can't see you. I'm like, really? So I had to restart the stream and figure all this stuff out. There's a lot of coding going on. It's all brand new, but I'll get better. I promise I will. Nick DeWitt, got a question for you. So what do you think the Giants should do going forward? I know we released Kevin Zeitler, right? Do you think we should go after Galladay? Kenny Galladay? Do you think we should chase him down? Or do you think we should go after Harry, the guy that was released from the Patriots? I think it would be Harry from the Patriots, my opinion. I don't think we should go after anybody that's going to command a lot of money. I see with the way Joe Judge has been functioning. He is grabbing guys from the Nick Saban coaching tree. He's also going after guys that are cast-offs from the Patriots. I don't see an issue with it. I would rather take Harry. Yes, I know. I want Dalvin back first too, but can we afford to bring him back? Thank you for saying that. Yeah, exactly. Be reasonable. He's a tall guy. His production was lacking, but remember last year, who did the Patriots have behind center last year? Cam Newton. Cam Newton he's a shell of himself of what he used to be. So he's young, he's hungry. I definitely would do that trade for Harry. Yes, Dalvin Tomlinson. My heart says bring him back. But like Tina was saying, I don't think it's possible. We took a huge cap hit. Now, the funny part is, it's so unpredictable right now. We could try and say what we're going to do and what other teams are going to do, but being that this is the very first time in the history of the salary cap that it actually decreased instead of increased, that is telling. No one really knows. All these players are getting cut. They're all going to be brought back on lesser contracts. It's a possibility that although the Giants cut Kevin Zeitler, what if they agree to bring him back on a minimum? That's very possible, right? The Chiefs got rid of their 2 tackles. No one thought that was going to happen. Because if you remember in the Super Bowl, there was COVID issues, right? So the offensive line was only pieced together with backups. And he went against the Tampa's front. And Patrick Mahomes got destroyed, right? And then what did ESPN say? I love ESPN. They're the mainstream. Just some of the stuff that the articles that they write, I just think that they're trying to stir the pot a little bit. And I guess that's their job. They're journalists. They're under pressure. People like myself are just fans. But they cut those 2 tackles, like I said, to what? Because they underperformed in the Super Bowl? Come on, man. We've got to be smarter than that. It's a salary cap hit, man. Nobody can afford to keep these guys. Yeah, it is quite unexpected. So we don't know what's going to happen going forward. All this speculation, we can take a guess and decide what we're going to do, but no one really knows. You know, my personal opinion, as a businessman, as someone who manages a business, although it's not, as big as the NFL, I am a manager and I understand the numbers. When it comes to, they're going to have to, these guys have to come back on lesser contracts. That's the only option they have. Another news article came out, and Gettleman, I love Gettleman. I don't know about you, Nick DeWitt, but Gettleman, dude, that dude is crazy. He came out and said today to the media, right? They're going to run away with this. We're not sure if what we're going to do with Saquon Barkley in his 5th-year deal. Are they going to pick up the option or are they not? Now, if they pick up the option, we all know because you watch Tana and you watch Bad Dog, they're talking about the $7.2 million, right? So I want to put my opinion on it. To me, it is straight lip service. I'm going to answer Bad Dog's question on live stream. I answered it on the chat, but I'm going to tell him right now. It's lip service. Gettleman's not dumb. He may be old, but he's not dumb. He's very cunning with the words that he uses. So the reason why he's going to say that he's going to evaluate everything going forward, because he's leaving all options open. No one knows if Saquon, how well he's going to perform. Last 2 seasons, he's been hurt. But let's think about why he's hurt, right? When it comes to the whole team, he had to carry on his back, right? He had to carry the offensive line. He had to carry the quarterback because he's getting older, getting beat up. Then he had to carry a brand new quarterback coming in who's all wide-eyed to the NFL in the limelight. New offensive schemes. The man had such a load on him that every time he makes a cut, every time he makes a move, it's putting strain on those ligaments and those tendons. So he wasn't able to be a north and south runner. He had to hurdle guys. He's trying to make the home run play because he knows he's the only skilled position player that's able to make things happen. Yeah, you love Gettleman, yeah, man. So yeah, just leaving it open, Gettleman's the man. So that being said, I don't see Gettleman retiring. I see that the media is trying to get rid of him because there's a whole new NFL, right? It's all about pass offense, pass offense, pass offense. Everybody forgets that what he loves to say. What do we say now? Because of Gettleman, hog mollies. Without those guys, the game is one in the trenches. I used to play when I was younger football. And the very first thing, I got upset because I felt I had hands. I felt I could make some moves. I used to play street football, right? 2-hand touch or sometimes tackle, not organized. And the first time I went to camp, they said because of my size and weight, and I was 14 at the time, they told me I needed to be a tackle or a guard. And I'm like, what? And I had to learn that position, right? Because I got blocking. Everybody wants the ball. I want to score touchdowns. I want all the fame, right? Everybody thinks like that now. But really, when you think about it, without those guys in the middle, That's where the game is won. It's a game of inches, right? Let's go old school a little bit, the 80s and the 90s. The game is one of the trends. It's a dirty game. It's a tough game. You got to get beat up, and you got to be willing to throw some hits, right? All this fancy-pantsy stuff, those guys can't do anything unless those men in the middle are blocking for you. They're not giving the quarterback time. I had a discussion last night, Nick DeWick. I'm not sure if you want to stream or not. I didn't see your comment, but I was talking about how if we can't grab a guard to replace Kevin Zeitler or some tackles in there, or move Nick Gates, or we can't grab any linemen during this free agency season, I don't think we should go for a skills position guy. I know everybody's talking about, hey, bring everyone in. Bring a wide receiver one. Get the tight end. And I was totally on board with it, pending we kept the line the way it was. But obviously we cannot. So we can't fill holes if we have holes on the offensive line, because I don't care who you got. I don't care if you got Superman as your wideout, right? And he's running down the field. If the quarterback snaps the ball and he's getting hit right away, you saw what happened in the Super Bowl. Tampa owned Patrick Mahomes. And that's just the most recent example, right? Because, like, if you go over the history of football, that's how it is. So going forward, I don't know how you feel about it, Nick DeWick. Right? I'm 6'2". I'm 6'2", 256. I wanted the 267. You know, I have a little extra. My BMI is a little high. It's like 27 to 28%. It's a little high. That's the pandemic, you know. My percentage of body fat should be a lot less than what it is, but the quarantine life, not working, not moving around as much. Excuse me. And all of a sudden I got lazy. My wife's great cooking. My wife and my mother-in-law. Oh my God. The food that they create and make for me. I'm a chef myself, and I don't even cook in my own house. It's like I'm a chef at work, but when I come home in my wife's kitchen, I'm the scullion. You know, which means like the idiot of the kitchen. I back up and let them do their thing. And I just need to go on a better high protein, low carb diet. I'm getting up in age, and my metabolism slowed down significantly. I'm taking, what do we call that? Apple cider vinegar. And I've lost about 13 pounds. I'm feeling better. But I want to go back to my 220 weight where I'm kind of thick. I have some muscle mass. Not that I'm always cut, but, you know, I feel strong and I feel healthy. So let's go back to sports, what we were talking about earlier. Okay, so how do you feel about the Knicks? The Knicks. The Knicks got the Bucks tonight. The Giants grabbing a offensive lineman early in the draft. If we can't find one in free agency, it's not popular, right? But we got to do something. Kenny Golladay, Giants aren't going to get him. They're not. I wouldn't be surprised if we, like I said, we're grabbing Harry. We bring Harry over, and let's say he performs well in camp. Joe Judge is a good coach. He grabs to maximize all the squeezes, all the talent juices out of every player. He's really good at that. So what if you grab Harry and he ends up performing to the potential that he didn't perform to in New England? I think Harry's somebody we should go after. Another guy we should go after is Malcolm Butler. Logan Ryan's trying to recruit him. Right? Let's get some of these guys on a lesser contract temporarily. And yeah, a lot of these football players and a lot of these celebrities and a lot of these athletes that are way above, they're not the blue-collar workers that we are. They've been isolated from this. Yeah, they've been hurt. Yeah, they got sick. But monetarily, they haven't taken a hit like the rest of us. Right? Some of us were able to, throughout this pandemic, do well, but most have not. And we have to, and like, it's kind of like a reality check, right? So if these guys take pay cuts going forward, so what? They'll be all right. You know, live within your means. Cut back on some things instead of being lavish and spending your money like crazy and walking like you're on a cloud. You know, do it like that. If you really want to win, you got to do it. So I do predict that a lot of these players, although they're being cut, they have to go back. They're not going to just not have signed this talent. They're just going to be signed on lesser contracts. They're going to have to. If they want to play football, they're going to have to be signed on lesser contracts because nobody has any money. Salary cap was supposed to be predicted at what was it, 215 or 220, whatever it was, and it actually dropped $2.5 million. What's over? What's going on? How are you? Thanks for popping in the stream today. That's awesome. Thank you. Yes, Pistol Pete is here. I am going to be signing off a little early in about another 15 minutes because I'm going to jump on Atana on his live stream. He's got a little thing going on. He starts at 5 o'clock. Milwaukee Bucks play-by-play. I might stay a little later. It all depends. But Bucks Overt, what's going on? How are you today? I'll wait for you to respond. IQ. All right, Nick DeWick. Yes. Emmanuel Quickly is the man. All right, so last night I was talking about untradeable assets, and I mentioned 3. And if you really want to be stingy, let's go 4. All right? The reason why I'm saying that is this. So I'll get to that in a second. Emmanuel Quickly is untradeable. R.J. Barrett is untradeable. And Julius Randle is untradeable, as long as they continue to go where they're going. Julius Randle proven this season that he can handle his business. He just needs to chill out with his turnovers, right? But that also, if you notice how many times he turns the ball over, he's getting trapped or triple teamed. It's either he's not seeing them coming or there's no communication coming from the other players on the team to let them know and get to the ball. Like if the person covering you is trapping the next guy, you're supposed to run to the ball. Why are they standing there waiting for him to make a move? Right now he's panicking. He's got 3 players around him. He can't do anything. Instead of getting to the ball, communicating to him that it's coming so he can make the move. Everyone just standing there for the ball, to magically leave his hand to get to you? And he does make some boneheaded moves with travels and things like that. He's always had issues with that, but he's improved his game immensely. And he's got a lot riding on his shoulders. He is the motor of this team. So Julius Randle to me is untouchable. R.J. Barrett's untouchable, and so is Emmanuel Quickly. Now, if you want to go with the 4th player, I say Mitchell Robinson. There's only one player in the world that I would trade Mitchell Robinson for. You guys want to take a guess what it is? I'm doing good, Bucks Over. Actually, I was having a lot of technical difficulties earlier. It was the first time going live, and second time, but first time going green screen. I was having a lot of problems with that, but I don't want to get into it. I already told Nick DeWick. He already suffered through my rant. I don't want to go back. But yes, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I'm just waiting for Knicks and Bucks. Let's get it. All right, Mitchell Robinson. That's the one player I would trade him for. You guessed it. Karl Anthony Towns. That's the only player I can see the Knicks trading for. Now, if you want to include Julius Randle in that trade, nope. I want to. If we're going to get Karl Anthony Towns via trade at the end of the offseason, right? Let's give up a couple of future first round picks. I'll do it because Karl Anthony Towns is young and he's strong, right? And if they want to put Mitchell Robinson out there, they can have him too. But nobody else. Nobody else. I want to see R.J. Barrett, Karl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle. Those are the 3 guys I want to see as the Knicks do big 3, right? And then we have support players going around. I want to see those guys develop like that. Now, let's say Karl Anthony Towns off the table because they don't want to. The Knicks don't have enough assets. They want to grab Julius. They want to grab RJ. No, man, we got to keep them. Let's keep the guys we're around. Let's keep them young. Let's keep them fresh. Because if we have Julius Randle in the front court with Karl Anthony Towns playing center, and then we got a backup. Because the reason why I say put out Mitchell Robinson is because he's a starter right now. I wouldn't mind Mitchell Robinson being the center behind Karl Anthony Towns, but there's nobody else that the Knicks have that'll be enticing for them to grab. Do I want the Knicks to sell off all of their assets to get him? No. I don't want that. The Knicks had the opportunity to sign Karl Anthony Towns 3 years ago, and he chose to stay in Minnesota because of Ryan Saunders. I bet you he learned his lesson now. He should have stuck with Tibbs. A lot of these young players are spoiled. A lot of these coaches, they don't hold their players accountable anymore. It's the players run the team. Really? Whatever happened to the chain of command? Whatever happened to being held accountable? Now, all of a sudden, the players want to sabotage the coach because they don't like playing for him, and they sit. They're the ones losing out because they're not winning. So that just goes to show what's more important to them. Is it important to win, or is it important to make money? If you had to choose which one, right, what would you choose? If you're smart, you would choose to win. The reason, especially in the New York market. I say that because with endorsements alone, you don't even need a salary. If you're a superstar, you won't need it. What do you need the max out deal for? The endorsements alone will take care of it, right? Not saying that you just shouldn't get paid. I'm not saying that. I don't want to go from one extreme to the next, but they're like sitting there like, oh, this is my brand. I got to build my brand, me. What about the team? I thought this was a team sport. If you want to play by yourself, go play bowling. Go golf. Go do tennis. There you go. You can build your brand that way, right? But when you got team sports like baseball, football, and basketball, you're only as good as your weakest link. So, yeah, you could be a superstar on one team, and then you go to the next team, and you're garbage, right? So, I don't get it. I don't get the selfishness. That's why I love coaches like Greg Popovich, Mike Woodson, Tom Thibodeau, and Eric Spoelstra. Because they're really good at being able to balance the diva mentality of these superstars who've been coddled their whole lives and coming to the NBA, and being able to balance that and holding them accountable and having a game plan. Now, I got a question coming in. Let me see, because LeBron's too old. Katie, I'm sorry. Let me scroll up real quick. Julius Randle, this is from Buxo. Thank you, Buxo. And once I learn how to bring the chats up, I'll have it up there. I haven't figured that out, so I'm just going to read it. Julius Randle and Call of Duty Towns won't work, in my opinion. Julius Randle isn't as good, but I'd rather see Cat with Mitch, even though I like Randle more than Mitch. Okay, so let's touch on that. I get what you're saying, right? But is Mitchell Robinson a power forward or a center? So if you'd rather, you have to think about the position players, right? Is Call of Duty Towns and Mitchell Robinson going to be able to start on the floor together? No, right? So if Call of Duty Towns comes in, are you saying that you want to trade Julius Randle for Call of Duty Towns and have Call of Duty Towns play power forward? Now he's playing out of position. Possible. But I'm more of a position player. Yeah, I mean, it could happen if Cat, yes, I could see that happening. But that kind of doesn't really help us in any way. It's kind of like, is Call of Duty Towns that much better? Look at his statistics and what he's doing. Is he that much better than Julius Randle? Julius Randle is almost averaging a triple-double. What about Call of Duty Towns' distribution method? You have to think about the offense, too. The power forward tends to spread the floor, right? Is Call of Duty Towns a great passer? Right? You have to think about that, too, because Julius Randle is a great passer. So we have to think about those things as well, because the Knicks don't have too many great passers. It's more like it's kind of like it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't bring us up to that level. I understand the hate on Julius, and I understand that Julius isn't where, he's had trouble with LA, and he had trouble when he first came in with, what was it, the Pelicans or somebody? I forget what team it was, with Anthony Davis. But this season, he's proven that under Tom Thibodeau and under Mike Woodson type of style of play, that the forward position needs to be able to stretch the floor and be able to pass. Hey, Melissa Sabino in the chat. Hello. Welcome in, Melissa. Thanks for support. That is actually my sister and my niece. They're coming in to say hello. That's pretty cool. So I got some support going on here. Thank you for popping in. So yeah, that's why I say it's dead in the water. If we have to get rid of Julius to get Call of Duty Towns, I'd rather keep Julius. I love Call of Duty Towns, but I'd rather see them play together on the floor. You have Call of Duty Towns at center, Julius Randle at power forward. I understand that they're both handling of the ball and both demand attention, but think about this. Julius Randle's a good passer, right? So if he gets double teamed, which he has been, they'll lose Call of Duty Towns by himself, right? How many times did Julius Randle try to pass the ball to the center on the Knicks team right now, and he bobbled the ball out of bounds? or they couldn't quite catch the alley-oop, or they get the ball and they get it stripped. Carl Towns won't let that happen. Under this type of offense, you have an ISO-heavy offense, which means a lot of one-on-one ball. So, you can have the point guard. Let's just say it's the elf on the shelf, which that's a whole other story in itself. But he's balling out, so I got to throw respect on his name. He's balling out right now. If he keeps up this play, we'll be all right. But let's say he throws a ball into the post to Karl-Anthony Towns, and now they double Karl-Anthony Towns. That leaves Julius Randle by himself, and he's been killing it. Right? So vice versa. Karl-Anthony Towns is a mismatch everywhere on the floor. He can shoot from the outside. He can put the ball on the floor in the post. Has a good mid-range game. And he's balling out by himself in Minnesota. If he actually goes on a team where there's some help, bro, he's only going to take his game to another level. Right? And I just think the way the NBA is constructed, look at the Nets right now, the Brooklyn Nets. Who do they got on the team? They have James Harden. Whoever thought James Harden was going to work with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving together? Right? I know they haven't been on the floor together as of yet. I think they're playing around trying to hold us off until the playoffs. But you put those three, it's like an Olympic team. They can play together if they want to. Kawhi would be so perfect for this team in free agency. Thank you, Buxo, for commenting. Kawhi would be so perfect for this team in free agency. We have great defense, and we desperately need a small forward. But Thibodeau ain't having that load management crap. LOL. Facts, dude. So facts. Yeah, I mean, load management. No, Tibbs don't play that. The only way Tibbs will allow load management is if the players that are coming in behind them play well. The problem with Tibbs is that he always gets a couple of players that are really good and then a bunch of role players on his team. And then who is he to trust? Julius Randle right now, currently, he's got to play 38 minutes. That's why Karl-Anthony Towns is upset and Jimmy Butler was upset because he ran him through the ground. But who else was there? Who else did they have? These guys demand so much salary, so much money, it doesn't give the team the opportunity to grab other decent players to play alongside, to share the ball, to share minutes. So they go starter heavy and then a bunch of guys just to play that can't really play. And Tom Thibodeau's like, no, I want the best players on the floor at all times. The only reason why the best players are not on the floor is because they're taking a breather. Thibodeau is the reason D-Rose hurt himself. Yeah, I mean, I think, no, well, you can't really say that. I think the explosiveness of Derrick Rose, yes, D-Rose hurt himself a lot in Chicago, but the way Derrick Rose played with reckless abandon, the way he was so explosive, his knees were to give out at some point. And well, who else did Derrick Rose have on his team? He had Joakim Noah. I don't remember what the 2010, 2011 squad was, but Derrick Rose had a heavy load. That's what I'm talking about, though. Like, if you have a heavy load and you got to play a bunch of minutes, every time they took Derrick Rose out, the team gave up the lead. They weren't able to sustain the lead that they had. So Tibbs wants to win at all costs. That's what I'm talking about, trusting and having good role players. So they took Derrick Rose out in his prime. What happened to the Bulls? Where was the scoring coming from? Where was the facilitator? Where was anything happening? Nothing. Right? You can't put it all on one guy. And he's so explosive with the way he jumped that he's going to blow his knees out at some point. I'm Musa Subito. Mason says hi too. Hi, Mason. That's my nephew. My little guy. Oh, my God. That's so cool. He's 5 years old now. And we have here Buxo Vert, almost like Saquon. He's too perfect of an athlete for his knee not to explode. Hopefully he comes back healthy. So, yeah. That is true. I really can't really comment much more on that. That is true. Eric Sabino, welcome to the chat. What's going on, Eric? What's up? Camelo sucks. Yeah. Okay, so that's my brother-in-law, and he used to rag on me so hard about the Knicks and and how much Carmelo sucked. Yeah, he's playing in Portland right now. He's kind of at the tail end of his career. But Carmelo's no longer on the Knicks. So, that's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about this Knicks team going forward, Thank you for popping in the stream, though. Appreciate it. Talking about the health of these guys, yes. Exactly what happened with Saquon Barkley and the Giants is what happened with Derrick Rose and the Bulls when Derrick Rose first came into the league. Such a heavy load, there was nobody that could be trusted, right? So Saquon felt like he had to do everything himself. And all those cuts, eventually he's going to hurt himself. You could be big and strong all you want, like Bad Dog was saying yesterday, but you can't work out your tendons, you can't work out your ligaments. This is why it's so important to be able to retrieve players on your team that are going to support your role, that are not a liability, right? So these guys really, scouting is so important when you draft your players going forward for any sport, really. Scouting is so important because a lot of these guys, they all look like superstars, whether it's single A ball, high school ball, Division I college, like Obi Toppin, right? Just the way he played in Dayton, it looked like he was going to be a monster in the league, right? And what happened? He came over to the NBA. He had a rude awakening. He got on the floor. He's getting stripped. He's unsure of himself. He's shooting air balls. He's, air ball. It's not even an air ball. Like, he's getting 10 feet away from the rim. Like, he'll shoot the ball and it just, pretty much goes out of bounds on the other side. Like, hit the top of the backboard a couple times. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Right? This isn't Dayton. This isn't college football. This isn't Penn State. And it's not it, guys. So it takes time for them to grow up. This is the reason why Tom Thibodeau doesn't really like rookies, right? He doesn't trust them because it's a maturity factor. They need to mature themselves and mature and become manhood to come into their game. So he doesn't trust nobody. So he's got Julius Randle. He's going to ride him to the ground, but he has to. Who else is there? As soon as Julius Randle sits, what happens, right? So that's part of the reason why Julius Randle lost weight during the offseason. He lost a lot of weight, worked on his game so he can stay healthy. And Julius Randle's looking good. He's healthy. His numbers are way above where we need. He just needs to work on his turnovers. Well, who was OBJ? Yeah. Bye, OBJ. My favorite Met ever is David Wright. My favorite Giant is OBJ. Well, it was OBJ. Okay, now I get it. Yeah, your favorite Met was David Wright. Yeah, he swung the ball so hard he threw out his back. I worry about Pete Alonso and Michael Conforto doing the same thing to themselves. My favorite Met ever. See, I'm from the era a little bit before. I started watching the Mets in the 80s when they were actually good. And my family's looking at me like, why not pick the Yankees with Dave Winfield, Don Mattingly? I'm like, because the Mets have Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden and Howard Johnson and Lenny Dykstra. So my favorite Met of all time, it's either Mike Piazza or I know Doc Gooden in his prime. Keith Hernandez was pretty decent too, but it's hard because I have a few favorites. It all depends what era. Like when Jose Reyes came up, that was one of my favorites, And then David Wright, yes, he held it down. Mike Piazza when he came over, Mike Piazza was. So it depends on the era. It's hard for me to pick. It was, what the funny part is when the Mets picked up Carlos Beltran over from Houston, he was going to be my favorite player until the Cardinals game because that infamous strikeout. Oh, at least swing the bat, man. Swing the bat. This guy caught looking. I was like, what is this guy? That was his moment. And his career was never the same since. I think that stuck with him. It's hard to win in New York, guys. It is so hard to win. We expect so much because all New Yorkers work hard. Right? We work hard. We take care of our families. We go on that grind. It's a city that never sleeps. It's so expensive. We don't have time for crap. So everybody's like, New Yorkers got attitude. Yeah, that's right. We have attitude. We don't have time. We don't have time to lollygag. A lot of these other states, a lot of people it's like They relax and everything's all hunky dory. Let's go. I'm floating on a cloud. It's not like that. It's a dog eat dog world, and you got to do what we need to do to survive. So we expect, especially because of the high prices to go to these games, we expect our athletes, we expect our teams to perform at elite level, especially when they get overpaid. Like Eric Sabito in the chat was saying, Carmelo Anthony sucks. Why? Because he didn't make his team better. If Carmelo Anthony demanded so, they traded everybody for him. And what happened? What happened to Melo? To me, that was a front office mistake. So if you want to go back, a few years, the front office never should have got rid of Melo. I mean, never got rid of the younger players to get Melo. What they should have done was wait for the offseason and sign him. So let's fast forward to now. Now that the Knicks are a decent team and they're the most unexpected to be winning, are we going to make the same mistake? Are we going to sell off everybody to grab Karl-Anthony Towns? Are we going to sell off everybody to grab rental of Victor Oladipo just for him to go sign off in Miami? Because he just said he wants to sign, he wants to play in Miami, come free agency. So, yeah, let's smart. Let's trade for these guys. That doesn't make any sense. Trust the process. Be patient, New York. We have some good teams. Excuse me, I fixed the camera. Be patient, New Yorkers. These teams are coming up. The Mets are going to be beasts this year. I believe they're going to be competing. We got Francisco Lindor. Eric, I know you got to be happy about that. You got to be happy about it. I know you're a Mets fan. I know they've been sucking. But, we got a fancy lineup this year. As long as Lindor comes with it, he's one of the top 5 players in the league. He's going to be the cornerstone of the Mets. My biggest worry with the Mets right now is their bullpen. Are they going to give up leads in the 7th inning? Are they going to give up leads in the 8th? Are they going to give up leads in the 9th? Because we have a really good starting pitching. Very good starting pitching. We have good bats on the ball. As long as they don't fold to the limelight and get scared. But what are we going to do? We had J.D. Davis as a starting third baseman. We need a third baseman. We need another outfielder. But right now, as the team constructed, I think they'll do well. As long as J.D. Davis doesn't become a liability at third base and he learns the position and plays well, I think we'll be all right. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Having 6, 7, 8, 9, those guys in the lineup, having them like that, maybe it'll ease the pressure, right? We need guys with bats on balls. I know, Dominic Smith, so inconsistent. He better grow up this year. This is the last chance I'm giving J.D. Davis, Dominic Smith. If they don't come and perform, Brandon Nimmo. Yes, he gets on base a lot. That's good. So let him be the leadoff hitter. But is he really? He's not really. I don't know. I don't like him as a center. He had too many errors last year. How many balls went over his head? And he just miscalculated catches. I'm a defensive-minded person. Stop them from scoring. That gives you a chance, no matter what sport you're in. You got to play defense. You're not always going to be able to, when it comes to baseball, swing the bat, hit home runs. And even if you do hit home runs, how many times did the Mets have guys on bases? Get on base. Then go for the home run shots. So that's a big liability to have. I do like Conforto is going to be a monster. Pete Alonso, thank you. I got 1 second and drink some water. Dominic Smith did beast last year. But his batting average is lower than I like it to be. He could have had a little higher batting average. I want him around 280, 275. His defense was doing pretty decent. I just think he's too inconsistent. If you look at the Mets lineup and the averages and the batting averages from last year, I think that as a team they were batting 236, 240. That's horrible. 23%, 24%. They got to be much better than that. You know, we need guys around 270, 280. If you're not hitting that, to me, you're failing. You know, and I believe that a lot of times they were trying to go for the long ball too much. Everybody's trying to play hero ball. Let's get on base. Let's move the team around. Let's move the players around base. And then we finally get guys on base. How many LOBs did we have last year? I think we led the league. Or pretty close to it. I have to look it up. I have to Google it. I don't want to take up too much time and look it up. But the Mets had way too many guys left on base. So, sorry, guys. My cat just wants to jump in the stream, and I'm not letting her. She always loves to be around. Hey, kitty. Say hi to my kitty. She's trying to jump in. Get down. Get out of here. Oh. All right. So the LOBs, right? So now we get the guys left on base, and what happens? They strike out. They hit a double play. You know, we got runners on first and second, one out. Ground ball, double play. Strike out. Pop up. It's like they're playing too much hero ball. You know? Yeah, I know, right? Oh, Entertainer jumped in the chat. I know you got your I know you're about to pop on for the KNICKS, you know? That's so cool. You got time for me. Thank you, Entertainer. That's awesome. So yeah, so going forward, the Mets are going to they're going to do well. I do believe. If you guys weren't listening earlier, if you weren't in the chat, I was saying that the only worry I honestly have is J.D. Davis at third and the bullpen. Are we going to have these leads going to the 6th, 7th inning, and then our pitcher's going to go out, right, and have a seat? Are we going to give up these runs, right? Are the Mets going to continue to score 1 to 2 runs a game when we have Jacob deGrom starting? I am sick and tired of seeing Jacob deGrom kill it all game, have them to throw 7 innings, 8 innings, only give up 1 run, maybe 2 runs, sometimes 0, and then all of a sudden the Mets can't even hit the ball. And then come the next game, another pitcher comes out, and the Mets are scoring 5, 6 runs. I am sick and tired of that happening. And why is that happening? You know, hit the ball, play the same way. I don't understand. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. So I want to see that stuff. Jacob deGrom means I'm grateful that he actually stayed with us because I really thought he'd be long gone a long time ago. I thought he was going to be like, screw this team. You know, every time I get on the mound, they can't even hit the ball. I'm out of here. So, you know, deGrom stuck around. We got to support him. He's our ace in the hole. He's the guy that's going to get us to the playoffs. He's the guy that we're going to rely on the first, fourth, and possibly game 7s if we get that far. We need to support him. He's going to get frustrated. He's going to want to leave. I'm surprised he stayed with us that long. Noah Syndergaard, we don't know where he's going to be at some point. You know, Thor's great, but I think he's throwing out his arm too much. He needs to get control of that slider a little better. I know he's out of injury. We're not sure where he's going to be. But honestly, what we have right now, leaving off Noah. Come on, kitty, get out of here. Not right now. Sorry, guys. My cat keeps trying to jump in. I like our starting pitching. I like most of our starters on the field. So I do think that we're going to be battling for the NL East pennant. I do see that happening. Our relievers. That's the one thing that worries me. Every time a starting pitcher goes out, I'm going to be so scared that we're going to give up the lead. If we have one. Depending on the pitcher, right? This is Gavin. Hi, Gavin. How are you? Yes, Stroman. Marcus Stroman. I know he's going to feast. You know, because it's like we have like 2 or 3 aces in there that could potentially be on these other teams, be aces. And just 1, 2, 3. I'm so excited. You know, I'm not even watching the spring training games right now because it's just like practice to me. You know, it's like come opening day. Barring no injuries. And barring these guys become more consistent with the bat, I need the batting average higher as a team. This 236 average is trash. I need it, 260, 270 on average for this team. The top 6 guys should be batting about almost 300. 270, 260, right? And the reason why they dipped after 2015 was because they're going for the home run ball. Stop swinging the ball so damn hard. Get contact, get on base. Trust your team behind you that they're gonna bring you around. That's what it is, lack of trust. Carrasco, I'll never forget Carrasco either. We picked him up too. Definitely. Carlos Carrasco, let's get it. So, going forward right now, we got Jacob DeGrom going 1. Even Marcus Stroman could go 1. But let's say Jacob DeGrom because he's been the Met for the longest. He's a Cy Young. He's a Cy Young guy, right? So he's going to be a starting pitcher going forward. I think Marcus Stroman should be number 2. Carlos Carrasco should be number 3. And whoever else, 4 and 5, that they decide, whoever performs better in spring training, who they decide on that one. Like I said, I'm not even worried about our starting pitching. I'm not really worried about our starting lineup. I'm really not. What I'm worried about is our defense. Brandon Nimmo being a liability in center field. J.D. Davis being a liability on third base. David Peterson. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. See, when it comes to these new players, we have to remember that we are playing in New York. I'm very pessimistic about players coming over. Anytime that happens, they tend to underperform. It's very rare that they at least achieve what we think they're going to hit up their expectations. I don't know if it's because they're scared of the New York media. I don't know if it's too much pressure because they feel like they have to do too much. I think all these players that are coming in from other markets, take a chill pill, relax. Before you get here early, enjoy New York for a little bit, have your fun, and then get to work. That's all we're expecting, for them to try and do their job, just like everybody else. If you do your job, you'll be loved. But if you're sitting there and you become like a Bobby Bonilla type player, he's my most hated Met ever, Bobby Bo. He gave me so many headaches. I couldn't stand him. Get rid of Familia, please. He gives me nightmares. You know what? Jerry's Familia, I don't know what happened to him. Because he was our closer. And he was killing it. Yeah, he had a couple of games where he folded and messed up some saves, but I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, you moved him out of being a closer and having him a setup guy. And now it just seems like as soon as he gets on the mound, you already know the other team's going to score runs. I don't. Something got in his head. I don't know what happened there. I really don't. All right, Joe Vic. What's going on, Joe Vic? Thanks for joining the chat. Guys, if you're brand new to my channel, to help grow the channel and so you guys can get the notifications when I go live, hit subscribe, and, I'll be able to pop on. Today, basically, we're talking Knicks, Giants, Mets, because those are my favorite teams. I wanted to get in before the Knicks game. The Knicks are scheduled to play Milwaukee at 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock East time. Most of you should be on the East Coast. I am a native New Yorker. I just so happen to have circumstances where I moved to Las Vegas, and now I stay here. I started a career, and that's where that's going. So I do plan on visiting New York. Hopefully, if Tana has these tailgate parties, I can have, it'll be on a weekend when I'm around. I'd love to show up to some of these tailgates. We just have to see where life takes us outside of this post-pandemic era, right? So, Joe Vic, I honestly think we're good at bullpen. We got Trevor May, Edwin Diaz, Miguel Castro, Seth Lugo, Aaron Loop, Jerry Familia. I like that bullpen. You do? I'm concerned. I'm concerned about Castro, and I'm concerned about Familia. Seth Lugo, he actually steps in to help start every now and again, so he has the potential to help us start when we need him, especially during his long seasons and the starting pitchers are injured. So I don't mind him being in there. Diaz, yeah, he's a decent closer, but we don't have a good setup, man. And Jerry Familia, to me, is not a setup guy. Bucks over it. Get rid of him. No, I already read that one. I followed my uncle with basketball and baseball. Thank God I didn't follow him with football. He's a Jets. Right? I have two brothers that are Jets fans. And my neighbors across the street that I grew up with are Jets fans. And I feel bad for them. I don't understand that one at all. Like, the Jets, really? The Jets? I don't know. I was watching my whole life growing up. Giants, man. Maybe it was the big blue. Maybe it was the colors I got behind me on the green screen. Maybe it was because they had the most monster defense you could ever see. I'm a very physical person. I love to fight. I love to wrestle. I love to play football. I love contact. It's like, it's tough. So when I saw the way the Giants were playing, I just was a Giants fan. I feel bad. My older brother is a Jets fan, and I laugh at him sometimes, and I get him a what do you call that? The Joe Namath jersey, right? I'm like, hey, here you go. Here's the last good player the Jets ever had. Your last Super Bowl, But I can't talk junk because I'm a Knicks fan, right? How can I really talk? The Knicks haven't won it. They haven't even sniffed a championship since 1973. Yeah, fine. They made it in 94, but what happened in 94? Game 6, John Starks. Still gives me nightmares. 2 for 18. Pat Riley leaving him in the game, and he's just chucking up shots. Like, really? And then all of a sudden, he finally takes him out in the fourth quarter. Hubert Davis hits 2 or 3 threes in a row, scores 11 points in a matter of minutes, and the Knicks lose by 5 or 6 points. When Starks should have sat his butt down on the bench. Pat Riley, I don't understand, was riding with him when Hubert Davis all season was shooting the rock. And if you see that John Starks didn't have it, we could have won it. We could have won that. So that was a coaching decision on Pat Riley's part. I think it's part of the reason why he took off. Yeah, they say he wanted more power and all that. He knew he screwed that one up. He knew he did. But we haven't even set the championship since 1973. So I can't really talk that much. But at least now I just don't want them to keep making the same mistakes. There's a thing going on. I'm just fix my camera. It's all crooked. There's a little saying going on. Patrick Ewing curse. Has anybody ever heard of the Patrick Ewing curse? Oh, yeah. Victor Cruz. Yeah. The Boricua Moreno. Yeah, Victor Cruz, man. Yeah, he was great. Oh, Victor Cruz was great. Definitely shout out to Victor Cruz. I actually had a Victor Cruz jersey. And one of my ex-girlfriends, reason why she's my ex, decided to do my laundry one day and throw my jersey in the dryer. Really? It was nice of you to come in while I was sleeping. I was working on it and I wasn't around, and you do my laundry, but you threw my jersey in the dryer. So I had like the 80 on it was all wrinkled up. Come on. Really? I didn't know. I thought you could do. I was like, all right, well, I thought I made it clear not to touch it. And, but whatever. That's years ago. But, yeah, Victor Cruz, the man. Love Victor. It's just too bad he hurt his knee and he just got a little slower. He's a great story, He just pretty much he was pretty much a walk-on. He wasn't even drafted. Like he was a native New Jersey guy, and said, you know what? Let me show my athleticism and let me see what I can do. And yeah, he helped us out a lot, especially when he went against the Jets. Remember that play this season when the Giants won the Super Bowl and they played the Jets? Victor Cruz was on the sidelines. I was actually driving to Buffalo Wild Wings in Glen Cove area. It's Buffalo Wild Wings. I forget the town that it was. That was maybe 30 minutes out of Glen Cove. So I'm driving into there and I'm going to work. And I'm listening to the game. And I still remember. Victor Cruz down the sideline running. Oh, he breaks a tackle and gone. Touchdown. I was like, what? I was a Victor Cruz fan with the preseason, but that game alone, I was going ham. It was so much fun. Yeah, right? And Dick Hodges and LMO. Exactly. That was messy. I spent a lot of money in that jersey. I was pretty disappointed. I haven't bought another one since. I need to, but circumstances with life, I have other priorities. I'm married with children now, so they're my first priority. I make sure they're good before I take care of me. Yeah, I know. Game starts soon. I got 8 minutes. Guys, I'm about to get off in a couple of minutes. I do want to close this out. I want to thank all of you for jumping in the chat. So far, no haters yet. With that little emblem right there in the corner underneath the Knicks is, Pistol Pete got 2 guns up for the haters. I fire back at him. I haven't seen him just yet, but don't worry. Thank you for all the support. It was a lot of fun chatting with everybody. Knicks and Bucks tonight. Let's go, Knicks! Oh! Let's get it. Let's have some fun. And I will see y'all tomorrow. I will be going live again tomorrow to discuss what happened in the Knicks game tonight. At the press conference, what we got out of going forward. I do want them to win. Do I see them winning? It's going to be tough. I do want them to win, but without Derrick Rose, it's very iffy. It all depends on how they start the game. We got to start hitting our shots, guys. Let's go from deep. All right, this is Pistol Pete. Make sure you log on to Entertainer Talking Sports. He's about to start his live stream play-by-play. The best guy on YouTube. I'm out of here. I'm going to watch the Knicks game, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right? Thank you so much for joining. Have a good one. Pistol Pete's out. Peace. Oh, sorry. Okay, before I get off. The next live will be tomorrow. I don't have a time just yet. Let's say around the same time, 3:30, 4 o'clock. Sound good? I'll just follow me on YouTube. I have a Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. You'll find me on Twitter as well. And my links are in the description. You can't click on them. I haven't figured that part out yet. But yeah, you'll find me on there, and then I will go. All right. So yeah, tomorrow live stream. We're going to talk about further any other news for the NFL, and we're going to discuss what happened in this game tonight. Thank you so much for signing in. You guys had a lot of fun. I look forward to tomorrow. Let's go, Giants. Let's go, Knicks. Let's go, Mets. I'm out. Peace. I had some people